Hey, I'm Sen, and I'm your life senpai. We're going to talk about life transformation or changing our lives. There's a reason behind us wanting to change our lives in the first place. And when we think about that, that could be any areas in our lives. Now, we're going to talk about the 5 main areas of our lives, whether it be our health, our career, our relationships, our family life, or our purpose, or that is what is greater than us, or your spiritual life. When we think about those areas, there may be some parts in those certain areas in our life that we may not be so fulfilled about, or we're not so content about. Now, when we think about those areas, as humans, we tend to gravitate and we tend to want to feel 100%, or we want to feel extremely fulfilled or happy about those certain areas. We want the best. And if we don't get the best, then we feel like we're not living a life worth living. When we think about that, we tend to forget how far we've come. From birth to childhood, to our teenage years, and then into early adulthood. And into adulthood, we go into our lives wondering about our lives, if this is the life that we really wanted. When we're in our early childhood, we tend to think about our dreams, our passions, our careers, the things that we were dreaming about since we were a kid, the things that we've always wanted. Now, in our lives, into early adulthood and into late adulthood, before we reach late elderly years, we tend to wonder, was this the life we always wanted? Is this the life that I wanted to live? When you get to those later years of life, did you leave any regrets behind? Did you do all the things that you wanted to do? When we look back at those years and we say to ourselves, maybe I didn't get to do that and I wish I had done that. That is the end result of something, when we wasted our lives away and felt that we didn't get to do what was most meaningful to us. In my personal experience, I can tell you the people that I've met and, seeing the people on their deathbeds who've always said and always wondered, they would say to me such things like, I wish I had spent more time with my family. I wish I had done the things that I wanted to do. I wish I had got the athletic capabilities and the body that I always wanted. Or I wish that I had spent more time doing the things I actually wanted to do rather than working all the time and letting my health deteriorate. So think about your life for a moment. Close your eyes, deep breathe in, and really think about the life you really wanted to live. Think about all your dreams, aspirations, and the career that you wanted, the relationship that you wanted, the financial stability or the things that you've wanted to flourish inside of your life, the relationship that you have with something that is greater than you, or how you could be of service to others and to your community, to the world, something that is greater to you. When you think about all those things, are you really fulfilled in those areas? Did you want to live the kind of life that you wanted to live? That is the crux of life transformative awareness. We want to first develop the awareness that we have in order to change. That is the first step to change. When we are aware of our current circumstances, we then become aware of where we are in our roadmap. And that roadmap is how you get to the lead to the next step of how you want to get to where you want to be. Now, when we talk about change, that's something very difficult for most people to do. When you're stuck in your own ways and you've built a habit around your life, for years and years, maybe decades of your life, that you've developed from childhood or something you've been taught to do, it's not easy to change those old behaviors and old conditionings. It's not easy to get to something new to do, especially when you've believed something for many, many years, or for the first time in ever, that you've been introduced a new idea ever in your life, whether it be 10, 20, 30 years ago, it's not going to be easy to change that same belief that you've had you've lived throughout your entire life. And when we get to the idea of changing your current life, in order to live a new life, to change your entire life and live the life that you wanted, you really got to get to the crux of your belief systems. And to change your habits is really how we get to change your lives. There's an amazing quote by Albert Einstein, and it's a really famous quote. And he says, the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. That is something that we tend to do as humans because we're very hopeful that something out there is going to come and change our lives for us. But really, that's not the case. The truth is, if we really want change, we need to do it ourselves. And we need to go out there ourselves and make that change. Only then can we change our lives. When you think about it that way, it makes a lot of sense into what Albert Einstein has said. If we're doing the same things over and over again, being our habits, if we're doing the same routines over and over again, how can we expect our lives to change? We need to then do something different with our lives. And to do that, we need to first understand what our lives are like. We need to first understand what are our current habits. What are our belief systems? What are the things that we're used to doing over and over again? What are the things that are comfortable to us? What are the things that are driving us to do this currently? Is it because we're comfortable doing it? Is it because we've been doing this for so long we don't know how to do anything else? Is it because we've been taught to do this? Is it because we've been told and we've been learned how to do this from a young age or from school or for somebody who told us how to do this? Or is it because of rumors and we've been told by a friend or a neighbor or a family member that you should be able to do this if you did this? And that's something we've been deeply ingrained in our mind to continue this habitual cycle of doing this thing, one thing over and over again and attempting to yield a different result, even though that result is not coming to us. So we then got to understand, how can we find out if this is the thing that is holding us back? We need to realize, how can we get from point A to point B? And point B being the place that you want it to be. And this is point A, where you currently are. Now, having that awareness, can we then find out, what is it that we need to change about our habits, our behavior, our beliefs, or perhaps our even identity in order to get to the lives that we want. Now, it's not going to be an overnight thing. It's not going to be something simple as doing one little tweak and you'll get all the way from 0 to 100 real quick. You have to do it consistently. You need to find out and identify what your habits are in the first place. You need to identify what are your belief systems. What are the things that you've been thinking about? What are your thoughts like on a day-to-day basis? What do you like to know about? What are the things that are leading you to this certain direction? You need to understand the most thing about yourself. And you need to understand yourself on a most deeply level so that you can do the transformations. Now, having this understanding, what are you going to do with it? This is where the change happens, and this is where the magic happens. You need to then find out if you are willing to make this change. If you are willing to make this change, and usually that is, driven by your current circumstances. If you are miserable, if these deep emotions deep down within your current life is telling you, I do not want to live this current life anymore. I do not want to have this kind of suffering anymore. This relationship is causing me so much pain. Or this work environment is so toxic. I don't want to live in this. I don't want to work in this field. I don't want to do this anymore. I want the kind of life that makes more sense to me, and I want to feel more joy. I want to feel more happy, and I want to feel more fulfilled. Those are our driving forces. The emotions are motivating factors to get to where we want to be. How strong are those motivating factors? if those motivating factors are strong and are intensified, and you think about it every day and you can't sleep because of it, then it might be a calling for you to say, it's time to change my life. That instinct, that deep emotion, those restless nights, those you can't sleep, those intensified emotions that are giving you these day-to-day thoughts, that is a huge indication for you to want to change your life. This is my advice to you. Seek help out. If you think that this is going to be a huge thing for you to be able to get out of, if this is a thing where your life feels like you're stuck, if you're in a rut and you feel like you can't change your life because this is your fate, that is not true. Everybody can change their life. Anything is possible. And I won't say just because if you believe in it, although I won't say it's not true either. But if you feel like you need help, go out there and get it. But I will say, you are in control of your own life, and you are in control of your own future. Thank you for joining me today.